The crystalline spires of Research Station Lumina pierced the violet atmosphere of the gas giant HFY, its delicate architecture a testament to Zephyrian engineering. Chief Researcher Astra Verilon floated gracefully through the station's main observation deck, her translucent wings catching starlight as she monitored the latest quantum field readings. The Zephyrians had chosen this remote location for their most ambitious project yet, harnessing the power of quantum fields to revolutionize interstellar travel. Astra's sensor filaments trembled as she processed the latest data stream. Their breakthrough was close. She could feel. But then another message came, this one carrying hope. Station Lumina. This is the horizons. We're beginning our approach. Prepare for emergency docking procedures. Through the observation window, Astra watched the human ship emerge from faster-than-light travel, its massive form dwarfing the delicate Zephyrian station. It was the first time many of them had seen a human vessel up close, and the sight was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. As the Horizons executed a perfect docking maneuver, Astra realized that the galaxy's most feared Deathworlders had become their only hope for survival. The irony was not lost on her, that beings her people once viewed with trepidation would now be their saviors. The quantum core's containment field flickered ominously, and Astra knew that the real challenge was just beginning. Captain Sarah Chen stood in the Horizon's airlock chamber, watching her rescue team suit up for what might be their most challenging mission yet. The specially designed environmental suits looked like works of art. Layers of advanced polymers and reinforced exoskeletons that would let them operate in the Zephyrian station's low-gravity environment without damaging the delicate infrastructure. Remember, she addressed her team, we're dealing with a species that evolved in 1/3 Earth gravity. Their bones are hollow, their muscles gossamer. One wrong move could be fatal. To them, not us. She paused, looking at each team member in turn. Dr. Rodriguez, what's your assessment of the quantum containment situation? Maya Rodriguez, the team's quantum physicist, brought up a holographic display of the station's core. Her dark eyes reflected the swirling quantum patterns as she manipulated the image. The sabotage is sophisticated. Whoever did this understood Zephyrian quantum technology intimately. They're not just trying to destroy the station. They're trying to steal its research data while making it look like an accident. Which means we're not just dealing with a rescue mission. Lieutenant James Cooper, head of security, interjected. His massive frame, built on a lifetime of training in Earth's gravity, made even the reinforced suit look small. We're looking at an active sabotage situation, possibly with hostile forces still on board. The team of 12 humans continued their preparations, each one a specialist chosen for this exact type of crisis. They moved with the fluid grace of predators, their bodies conditioned by evolution to handle stresses that would kill most species in the galaxy. To the watching Zephyrians on the other side of the airlock window, they must have looked like giants from another universe. The docking procedure completed with a soft hiss of equalizing pressure. Captain Chen's neural implant connected with the station's systems, feeding her real-time data about the deteriorating situation. The quantum core's containment field was failing faster than predicted. They had less than 15 hours now, not 23. As the inner airlock door opened, they were met by Chief Researcher Astra Verilon. The Zephyrian leader's translucent wings caught the emergency lighting, creating patterns that seemed to dance in the air. Her surprise at seeing the humans up close was evident in the rapid color changes rippling through her sensor filaments. Welcome aboard Station Lumina. Astra's melodic voice carried a tremor of both fear and hope. Though I wish our first contact had been under better circumstances, Captain Chen stepped forward, carefully moderating her movements to appear less threatening. Chief Researcher, we'll need your team's full cooperation. Dr. Rodriguez here will work with your quantum specialists to stabilize the core. Lieutenant Cooper's security team will sweep for any remaining saboteurs. The rest of us will begin evacuation preparations. Astra's sensor filaments pulsed with agreement. Of course. But Captain, there's something else you should know. The quantum research we're conducting here, it's not just about faster travel. We've discovered something that could change everything we know about space-time itself. The captain's eyes narrowed behind her helmet visor. The plot was thickening. Is that why you were targeted? We believe so. 3 days ago, we achieved quantum entanglement on a macro scale, something that should be impossible. If weaponized, it could tear holes in the fabric of space-time itself. The implications hit everyone like a physical force. This wasn't just about saving 300 Zephyrian lives anymore. The wrong people getting their hands on this research could threaten the entire galaxy. Cooper, Chen barked, change of plans. Your team sweeps the station now. Full combat protocols authorized. Dr. Rodriguez, you're with me and the chief researcher. We need to secure that quantum core data before anyone else does. The humans moved with practiced efficiency, splitting into their assigned teams. Their heavy boots magnetized to compensate for the low gravity, allowing them to move quickly while the Zephyrians floated around them like ethereal beings. As they made their way deeper into the station, the damage became more apparent. Microfractures spider-webbed across the crystalline walls, and the quantum field distortions were visible to the naked eye, reality itself seeming to twist and bend in impossible ways. Hostile contact. Cooper's voice crackled over the comm. Lower research sector. They're using some kind of phase shift technology. Can't get a clean lock. Captain Chen's mind raced through options. The saboteurs were still here, likely waiting for the quantum core to reach critical failure before stealing the data in the chaos. But they hadn't counted on humanity's involvement or their unique abilities. Dr. Rodriguez, how long to stabilize the core? With the Zephyrian team's help, maybe 10 hours, without interruption. Chen nodded inside her helmet. You'll have it. Cooper, maintain contact, but do not engage directly. Let them think they still have the advantage. She turned to Astra, whose wings were now pulsing with tactical data patterns. Chief Researcher, we're about to show you why humans have a reputation as the galaxy's apex predators. And for once, that reputation is going to save lives instead of frighten them. The quantum core loomed before them, a massive crystalline structure that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. As alarms blared and reality itself threatened to unravel around them, the human rescue team prepared to demonstrate why evolution on a death world had made them the perfect species for impossible situations. Lieutenant Cooper's tactical display lit up with shifting patterns as another wave of phase-shifted energy rippled through the lower research sector. His team had spread out in a standard search formation, their magnetic boots allowing them to move with precision, even as reality warped around them. The saboteurs were good, but they'd never faced hunters evolved from pursuit predators. Movement, Section C7, whispered Sergeant Maria Santos through the tactical net. Her helmet sensors were picking up microscopic variations in air density, a technique developed for tracking prey across Earth's savanna, now repurposed for space combat. They're using the quantum distortions as cover, but they're leaving trace patterns in the air currents. Cooper smiled grimly inside his helmet. The saboteurs might have advanced technology, but they couldn't change physics itself. Every movement, every breath, created tiny disruptions in the station's carefully maintained atmosphere. To human sensory equipment, calibrated by millions of years of evolution as pursuit predators, these disruptions might as well have been footprints in fresh snow. Meanwhile, in the quantum core chamber, Captain Chen watched Dr. Rodriguez work with the Zephyrian science team. The human physicist's hands flew across holographic interfaces, her neural implants processing quantum calculations faster than any organic brain could manage alone. The core's containment field continued to deteriorate, but now they were beginning to understand the pattern behind its collapse. It's brilliant, in a terrifying way, Rodriguez muttered, her eyes never leaving the swirling quantum data. They didn't just sabotage the containment field. They introduced a quantum virus. It's rewriting the field's basic parameters on a subatomic level. Astra Verilon's sensor filaments pulsed with distress patterns. But that's impossible. The quantum harmonics are based on fundamental universal constants. They can't be rewritten. They can if you understand how to manipulate the observer effect on a macro scale, Rodriguez replied. Which means whoever did this has access to technology, at least as advanced as yours. Captain, this isn't just industrial sabotage. This is something much bigger. Chen's tactical mind raced through the implications. They're not trying to steal your research, she said to Astra. They're trying to prove it can be done, that quantum fields can be manipulated on a macro scale. Your station is their test site. The quantum core pulsed ominously, sending ripples of distorted space-time through the chamber. The Zephyrian researchers instinctively fled from the waves, their delicate bodies unable to withstand even minor quantum fluctuations. But the humans stood their ground, their environmental suits automatically adjusting to compensate for the reality distortions. Cooper, Chen called over the tactical net. Status report. We've got them cornered in Research Lab Delta, Cooper responded, his voice tight with controlled tension. 5 targets, using some kind of advanced stealth tech. But they made one critical mistake. They don't understand how human hunting instincts work. As if to punctuate his words, the tactical net lit up with sudden activity. The saboteurs had tried to make a break for it, using their phase shift technology to pass through solid walls. But Sergeant Santos and her team had anticipated this, using the station's own quantum fluctuations to predict their emergence points. Contact. Santos' voice crackled through the comm. The sound of high-energy weapons fire followed, along with the distinct crack of human combat rifles, specially designed to function in quantum-distorted space. Back in the core chamber, Rodriguez suddenly straightened. Captain, I figured it out. The virus isn't just rewriting the quantum field. It's using the field's own energy to sustain itself, like a quantum perpetual motion machine. That's why the containment systems can't stop it. Can you shut it down? Chen asked, watching as more warning lights began to flash across the core's control interfaces. Yes, but we'll need to do something that goes against everything we know about quantum mechanics. We need to force the field into a specific state, not through observation, but through direct manipulation. Astra's wings flared with alarm. That's suicide. The quantum backlash would destroy anything caught in the field. Anything evolved under normal physics, yes, Rodriguez agreed. But we humans evolved on a death world. Our bodies are used to handling forces that should be impossible. Captain, I need direct neural interface access to the core. Chen understood immediately what her physicist was suggesting. Human neural architecture, evolved to process multiple threat scenarios simultaneously, might be able to handle the quantum calculations needed to force the field stable. But the risk of mind burning was extreme. Do it, Chen ordered. Cooper, keep those saboteurs contained. We're about to attempt something that's either going to save this station or tear a hole in space-time. As Rodriguez began connecting her neural implants to the quantum core systems, the Zephyrians watched in a mixture of horror and fascination. These humans, these Deathworlders, were about to attempt something their finest scientists had deemed impossible: direct manipulation of quantum reality itself. The core's chamber filled with swirling patterns of probability and possibility, a visual representation of reality, trying to exist in multiple states simultaneously. And at the center of it all stood a human physicist, her mind about to attempt what evolution had never intended: conscious control of the quantum realm. Dr. Rodriguez's consciousness exploded into the quantum realm as her neural implants connected with the core systems. Reality became a dance of probabilities, each quantum state a different thread in an infinite tapestry. The virus writhed through the field like a living thing, trying to tear apart the very fabric of space-time. But the human mind, evolved to process countless survival scenarios simultaneously, began to see patterns in the chaos. Multiple hostiles breaching Lab Delta. Cooper's voice seemed to come from a distant universe. They're making a push for the core chamber. These aren't ordinary saboteurs. They're using military-grade quantum tech. Captain Chen's voice cut through the tactical net. All teams, fall back to the core. Form a defensive perimeter. Remember your environment suits gravity compensation. Use their phase shift technology against them. The human security team executed a fighting retreat, their movements precise despite the increasing quantum distortions. The saboteurs had revealed themselves at last, tall, shadowy figures whose armor seemed to bend light itself. But they hadn't counted on human combat instincts, honed by millions of years of evolution as pack hunters. Sergeant Santos' team split into pairs, using classic predator flanking maneuvers. The saboteurs' phase shift technology let them pass through walls, but Santos had figured out their weakness. They had to become solid to use their weapons. Her team timed their shots perfectly, catching the intruders in their vulnerable moments of transition. In the core chamber, Astra Verilon watched in amazement as Dr. Rodriguez's consciousness wrestled with quantum reality itself. The human physicist's body was rigid, sweat beading on her forehead despite the environmental suit's cooling systems. The quantum displays showed impossible readings, conscious manipulation of probability states at the macro level. "She's doing it," Astra whispered, her sensor filaments detecting changes in the quantum field. "She's actually forcing the virus into a single probability state." Captain Chen stood guard over Rodriguez's body, her weapon trained on the chamber entrance. The sounds of combat grew closer, energy weapons fire mixed with the sharp crack of human rifles. "How much longer?" "The virus is adapting," Rodriguez gasped, her voice strained. "It's like it has its own intelligence. But there's something else. I can see the pattern now. Captain, this isn't just about destroying our research. They're trying to create a quantum tunnel, a way to bypass all known laws of space-time." The chamber doors burst open. Cooper's team backed in, firing controlled bursts at the pursuing shadows. The saboteurs' phase shift technology was failing, their forms becoming more solid as the quantum field stabilized. For the first time, their true appearance became clear. They were Nexarians, an ancient species known for their obsession with transcending physical reality. "You don't understand what you're interfering with," one of them spoke, their voice distorted by quantum fluctuations. "This research is too dangerous to be allowed to exist. The ability to manipulate quantum reality at will. It would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. That's why you wanted to steal it for yourselves," Chen replied, her weapon never wavering. "Using this station as your proving ground, regardless of how many innocent lives it cost." The lead Nexarian raised their weapon, but Cooper's team was faster. Synchronized fire from multiple angles dropped the saboteurs' shields. The humans moved with lethal efficiency, their bodies operating on combat instincts refined by evolution. Within seconds, the fight was over. But the quantum core was reaching critical mass. Rodriguez's consciousness was deep in the quantum field, her mind processing calculations that should have been impossible for any organic being. The virus. It's not just code. It's a quantum AI, designed to evolve and adapt. But it didn't account for one thing. Human consciousness doesn't follow quantum rules. We're too chaotic, too unpredictable. With a final surge of mental effort, Rodriguez forced her way through the quantum probability states. Her mind, backed by millions of years of evolution on a death world, imposed order on quantum chaos through sheer force of will. The virus, designed to operate on precise quantum principles, couldn't adapt to the inherent randomness of human thought patterns. The quantum core flared brilliantly, then stabilized. Reality snapped back into its proper shape, the threatening tiers in space-time sealing themselves. Rodriguez collapsed, her neural implants smoking slightly, but alive. Astra floated forward, her wings shimmering with patterns of awe and gratitude. "You did the impossible. You not only saved our station, but proved that consciousness itself can influence quantum reality." Chen helped Rodriguez to her feet as Cooper's team secured the surviving saboteurs. "That's the thing about humans," the captain said with a slight smile. "We specialize in the impossible. Evolution made sure of that." The Zephyrian researchers gathered around their human saviors, their fear of Deathworlders replaced by profound respect. They had witnessed something unprecedented, Beings evolved for survival using those same traits to protect and preserve life instead of taking it. The aftermath of the crisis transformed Station Lumina from a scene of near disaster into a hub of unprecedented interspecies cooperation. In the station's main conference chamber, now restored to its crystalline beauty, Captain Chen sat across from Chief Researcher Astra Verlon, their differences in biology highlighted by the universal translator's soft glow between them. The Galactic Council has officially recognized humanity's role in preventing what could have been a catastrophic breach in spacetime, Astra announced, her sensor filaments displaying patterns of formal gratitude. But more importantly, they've approved our joint research proposal. Chen raised an eyebrow, her expression reflecting the weight of this development. The events at Station Lumina had proved something revolutionary. That human consciousness, evolved under the harsh conditions of Earth, possessed unique qualities that could interact with quantum systems in ways previously thought impossible. Dr. Rodriguez, still recovering from her neural interface with the quantum core, joined them at the conference table. Our preliminary analysis of the quantum field data is fascinating, she said, bringing up a holographic display. The human brain's ability to process multiple survival scenarios simultaneously seems to give us an advantage in manipulating quantum probabilities. It's as if evolution on a death world prepared us for understanding the fundamental chaos of the universe. In the station's security wing, Lieutenant Cooper and Sergeant Santos were conducting a joint training session with Zephyrian security forces. The delicate, winged aliens watched in fascination as the humans demonstrated how their predatory instincts could be channeled into protective techniques. Your evolutionary history has pursued predators, one of the Zephyrian security officers observed. It gives you an intuitive understanding of spatial relationships that we've never developed. Combined with our natural ability to detect quantum fluctuations, we complement each other, Santos finished, demonstrating a modified combat stance that took advantage of the station's low gravity. Your species can sense things we can't, while we can act in ways you never imagined. The captured Nexarian saboteurs had revealed a deeper plot during their interrogation. Their attempt to steal and weaponize the quantum research had been part of a larger plan to establish dominance over what they saw as lesser species. Instead, they had inadvertently sparked what would become known as the Lumina Accords, the first major treaty combining human physical capabilities with Zephyrian quantum science. Back in the conference chamber, Astra's wings shimmered with excitement as she shared the Council's vision. We're proposing a joint defense and research initiative. Humanity's unique abilities, combined with our quantum technology, could revolutionize space travel, communication, and our understanding of reality itself. And more importantly, Chen added, it ensures that this knowledge will be used to protect and connect, not to dominate. She gestured to the station's observation window, where the gas giant HFY painted the sky in swirling bands of purple and gold. Our species evolved in very different environments, but maybe that's exactly why we need each other. Dr. Rodriguez nodded, her neural implants now repaired and upgraded with Zephyrian quantum technology. The Nexarians thought they could transcend physical reality through technology alone, but they missed something crucial. It's our physical evolution, our very limitations, that give us our strength. Humans evolved to survive against impossible odds, and the Zephyrians evolved to perceive the quantum nature of reality itself. Together, Astra finished, we represent something new in the galaxy. Not just an alliance of convenience, but a true symbiosis of different evolutionary paths. The station's quantum core, now secured and enhanced with both human and Zephyrian innovations, hummed with stable energy. In its crystalline chamber, reality itself seemed to dance between states, a visual reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. As the day cycle drew to a close, Captain Chen stood with her crew preparing to return to the horizons. The station's Zephyrian inhabitants gathered to bid farewell to their unlikely saviors, their fear of Deathworlders completely transformed into respect and admiration. You know, Chen said to Astra as they watched humans and Zephyrians working seamlessly together on quantum core maintenance. When we first received your distress signal, I never imagined it would lead to this. Astra's sensor filaments pulsed with what the humans had learned to recognize as humor. That's the beauty of quantum reality, Captain. Every crisis contains the probability of transformation. You humans just taught us how to make those transformations real. As the Horizons prepared for departure, its crew knew they were leaving behind more than just a rescued station. They had helped forge a new understanding in the galaxy, that the very traits that made humans feared as Deathworlders could also make them the greatest protectors of peace and progress. Evolution had made them strong, but choice had made them guardians. The quantum stars streaked past the ship's windows as they entered FTL, each point of light representing another world where this new alliance might change the course of history. Humanity had found its place in the galaxy not by conquering or dominating, but by protecting and cooperating with those who once feared them. It was, perhaps, the most human victory of all.